put on your seatbelt. Let's go!
All right, turn up the music.
Welcome to Scream Queens Horror Road Trip Podcast. Hot damn, that burst my eardrums.
You're welcome.
Welcome to episode 101.
101. We're going to educate you today on something.
We're in the hundreds now, y'all.
We passed the centennial.
We are also on Interstate I-35 west heading south to San Antonio.
We are going to San Antonio because there's this very special place to visit in San Antonio.
Do you remember what it's called?
It correlates with our movie. We're going to see the Alamo.
I remember the Alamo.
I forgot about the Alamo.
Oh, shit. Texans are going to hate you.
Well, we are getting deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, we're about to pass Waco, and we're bringing a special movie. One of my all-time favorites. We're going to cover Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Beep, beep.
I know you guys are probably thinking, that's not a horror movie. But you know at least once a year we got to bring you something that's not quite a horror movie. Something that's horror adjacent. Something that kind of scared us as kids. And there's some creepy shit in this movie. That's why we thought it would be perfect.
Got creepy, spooky elements to it. It's directed by Tim Burton. It's the first
Tim Burton movie. And if you've seen this movie, you know why we're going to the Alamo. We're going to find the bike in the basement.
We're at least going to try to find the bicycle in the basement, as Madame Ruby foretold to Pee-wee and us.
P.W. Herman. But you know what, Justine? There's no basement in the Alamo.
Oops. Well, we're going to learn while we're there about the Alamo and the battle and do a guided tour of the grounds just like Pee-wee did.
Maybe we'll see Juan or Pablo and Inez.
Yes, yeah. Pedro and Inez. Yeah, and see what they're up to. They're like mannequins set up in the little tour.
Yeah.
What else are we gonna? We're checking in at the La Valencia Hotel on the River Walk, and we're gonna be Christopher walking all up and down that River Walk.
For sure.
It's 15 miles.
We might even moonwalk. We might even crip walk. We're going to be walking around.
Whoa. Okay, well, I'm just going to pace my walk.
Okay. We're just going to walk normal?
We're just going to do normal walking.
Okay.
But we're going to take in all the sights. We're going to do a touristy, like, just San Antonio visit. We know we are not getting off the beaten path. We know we're just doing what the usual tourists do, and we're okay with that.
Eat Mexican food and avoid falling into the canal on the Riverwalk.
And we're actually going to be referring to it as a canal, because anything that has an owl in it, I have got.
So this is a sea anal?
It's a sea anal, yeah.
Sea anal.
A canal.
A cananal?
I'm going to have to add a, cananal. What else is there to talk about right now? What are we doing?
This movie stars Paul Rubin, who sadly passed away about this time last year, and it's one of the saddest days of my life, really.
Rip Paul.
That one hit me hard. I've been a Pee-wee fan since I was a little kid. Used to watch every Saturday morning Pee-wee's Playhouse. I even had the doll with the pull string. I still watch Pee-wee's Playhouse pretty regularly, especially at Christmas. It's not Christmas unless I watch his Christmas special.
Oh, yes. It's like a pastime
And as a preschool teacher, whenever I am allowed to have like screen time, which is like once a week, we can watch a little something, I will often show them episodes of Pee-wee's Playhouse.
We've got to expose them young.
Well, it's educational. It teaches, sight words, inclusivity. It teaches imagination, friendship. Like, it has a lot of great little lessons on that show, and it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. I was about to say, there's the comedy to it too.
I'll be laughing more, or just as much, if not more, than like my kids in my class. So it holds up, and this movie I think still holds up.
Oh yeah,
it has me rolling every few minutes. And the creepy parts, why we're doing this as a horror road trip podcast, are still creepy too. So
Large Marge,
the clown at the beginning, the clowns at the end.
Like the clown opera. We'll get into it. Okay. Also, it's got Elizabeth E.G. Daly, who, as children of the 90s, we heard her voice often when we would, be watching the Rugrats.
And she's credited as Elizabeth Daly, but she pretty much goes by E.G. Daly now. Mm-hmm. When you see her at the cons, we've seen her at Frightmare before, and I think even on Rugrats and stuff now, you'll just see like E.G. Daly or whatnot. So, love her.
Mark Holton, who was also Stillwell Angel in League of Their Own, but he plays Francis, and I love him.
Yeah, Cassandra Peterson, Elvira herself, shows up as like the biker chick.
She's like, give me a piece of them or something. Jan Hooks, she's from Saturday Night Live, but she plays the Alamo tour guide.
Yeah, she's there's no basement Alamo.
And
Buenos dias.
Jason Hervey from the Wonder Years plays the kind of like Hollywood kid that gets the bike.
Yeah. The little diva on set.
Yes. But let's get it. Let's do it. Oh, it's also Danny Elfman's doing all the music. So originally from Oingo Boingo, but he's done so much with Tim Burton. But this is the beginning.
Yes, before even The Simpsons. This was probably one of his first musical scores.
Would you say that this is like maybe the debut?
His debut?
His debut?
I think it's debut.
Oh, a debut. Debut.
Debut.
I'm just gonna mispronounce the hell out of it.
Put it, and but the but.
Oh, and written by the late Phil Hartman.
Oh yeah, Cassandra Peterson, Phil Hartman, Paul Rubens. They were all met at the Groundlings, which is an improv group in LA that's very famous. A lot of great talent has come out of the Groundlings, and that's where they met and became great pals.
Lives thrived.
They thrived.
They were thriving. Okay, so we're just going to start with the opening, which is the score that Danny Elfman puts together. That kind of like bum 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 bum. You're just like, it's like a circus show.
You're like, this music is so evocative.
Well, it just definitely sounds like you're walking into an event. You're walking into some kind of entertainment.
For sure. And we are. It starts with a Tour de France.
Yes, it's Pee-wee is pedaling away next to probably some of the greats of that time. The movie's coming out in 1985, by the way.
Yeah.
So he wins the Tour de France. He has his signature bicycle in the color red, and he's wearing his gray suit,
tux maybe,
with a white button-up and his red bow tie.
And his white shoes.
White shoes that he changes out for white platforms at the biker bar later. But so yes, we see him. He's just pedaling away, and he wins. And then whoop, we wake up. We realize he's not at the Tour de France.
No, he's in his cute, eclectic, funky little home.
Sliding in to his bunny slippers that he immediately has to go and catch a little stuffed animal carrot that we then see. He has a dog named Speck, so imagine it's just like a little chew toy for Speck.
And we start getting into the world of Pee-wee here, and the production value and production design is incredible. I can't believe it didn't even get nominated for an Oscar or anything, because it's so world building. It's so funny. Every little detail can give you a chuckle.
Yes. Because it is like this. He's this man-child, but he's so funny and playful, and that his home represents that with everything from the Rube Goldberg like breakfast machine that he puts together to like the wallpaper and the little knobs on his stove. Everything is like, it's that, of course that would be in Pee-wee Herman's home.
Yeah, everything's like really cartoonish. The Pee-wee himself and the whole movie and the show is like a live action cartoon. There's so much detail in the production design that you can just, your eyes can wander and find something to like laugh about.
I just love how it's kind of this alternate universe. It's obviously we're here on Earth, and because they're in Texas and stuff, like have parts of this, but everybody's behaviors, their mannerisms, it's just all like slightly off.
And they never address if Pee-wee is actually a child. I mean, there's, Francis, who we'll meet in a moment, is also played by an adult, but you get the sense that maybe they are real kids, they just happen to be played by adults. Kind of like, if you guys watch Pin 15, they're really supposed to be 13-year-olds, but they're being played by adults. It's almost kind of like that same vibe.
Yeah, and they're constantly interacting with other children.
Yes.
There's like the BM, or what are those biker, like there were a whole troop of bikers.
I know what you're talking about, the kids on the bikes. There's just a lot of kids in this that. But then, Francis lives with his dad in like a big mansion, but Pee-wee has his own little home, which I know is, kids don't live on their own in their own cool houses, but it's just something that the movie toys with, is this idea. It's like, is he really a kid? Is he just like a weird man-child?
Yeah, it's like, it's not really explained, but I think it's just left up for interpretation.
Yeah.
And you can think of it in one way, one time watching it, think of it another time, and you just keep coming back to it. But at the end of the day, it's like Pee-wee is funny and a little bratty, but he is very confident in himself. He embraces his own eccentricities, and he also encourages them in others. Like through this whole movie, that's something that Pee-wee does, is make sure to like tell people like just do what makes you happy.
Yeah, he's got a good little heart, but yeah, like any kid, he can be a brat.
You can be a brat sometimes too.
I'm bratty. But
okay, but so he's just having the time of his life, waking up in his own home.
Yeah.
Like he enjoys every bit about it. Brushing his teeth, putting on his slippers, weighing himself. He weighs 98 pounds.
Yeah.
He takes his fortune. And
it says, "Do not leave home today."
So kind of like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's foretelling.
We probably shouldn't leave the house, and in fact, it's such a fun house, why even leave it? He does have this like breakfast machine set up where
pterodactyls are dropping toast in the toasters, and Abe Lincoln's flipping pancakes.
And he is enjoying his time with his dog Speck. And
Speck's so cute too.
He's just kind of perfect, but of course we're seeing PW.
Yes.
We're seeing him having a lot of fun, but we get to kind of like catch a little sequence of him interacting with his breakfast, Mr. Breakfast.
And in Tim Burton fashion, everything's oversized. Speck's bowl, the knife that he's using to butter his toast, the fork he's using, his toothbrush earlier, like everything is just a little extra.
And he is like talking for his breakfast, lifting it up like the bacon. He's like, "Hi, Mr. Breakfast. Oh, you want some Mr. Cheese cereal?" And then dumping it. And he eats like 2 bites of his cereal, which is so like kid-like.
Well, and then even how he eats, he's like, nom, 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 nom. Like he can't do anything without making me laugh. He's brushing his teeth and I'm cracking up.
And he's like,
he's chewing his food. I'm cracking up. Like he's just.
And he's constantly making eyes. That's really what I love about Pee-wee, is he tells so much with his eyeballs, the way he'll glare, the way that he'll kind of like squint.
So much of the laughs don't even come from jokes. It's the physical comedy of Paul Rubens and just how the ticks he gives Pee-wee, the mannerisms, just all those things combined. They're just so funny. Paul Rubens was a genius.
Yeah. He just comes off as this, like, inquisitive, really curious kid that has a brilliant sense of humor. He's very witty. He always has a comeback, and it makes you laugh, but it's one of those, like, there's so many one-liners in this movie because of his comedy.
Yeah, there's no way we will even be there's no way we will even be able to cover all the jokes in this movie because they're constant. It's just so much fun.
Okay, he finishes up his breakfast, and then we have his, like, outside time where he's, like, watering his lawn. We get this first interaction with, like, another neighbor.
And the neighbor seems to love it.
Yeah, so pleasant. She's like, "Hi, Pee-wee," and Pee-wee's like, "All right, I'm gonna water my lawn," and he's using this, like, wacky arm hose
sprinkler thing.
It's so funny.
And like you said earlier, like, everybody's so nice to Pee-wee. Everyone really seems to love Pee-wee except Francis.
Yes.
Francis is jelly. He's jealous. But everyone else seems to really enjoy Pee-wee's presence. Pee-wee's presence.
That's like the new box set that you put together is Pee-wee's Presents. And it's a present
of Pee-wee. And out pops Paul Rubin. He's like, "Surprise, just kidding."
A hologram.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Pee-wee outside, and this is when we meet Francis. Pee-wee has just done this, like, big reveal of his bicycle, and it is a gorgeous spectacle of a bicycle if I've ever seen one.
Oh, you are shouting in my ear again. But she's excited for this bicycle. He even has it hidden. He puts in, like, a little code, and, like, it has been camouflaged into the wall, like this little secret hiding spot.
It looks almost like a Red Ryder color, like the design of it reminds me of those Red Ryder, the red color of it.
Yeah,
those
like
sleds and the wagons and stuff.
And his is decked out. It's got horns. It's got, like, that lion's face. Or is it a tiger? I can't really tell.
It's a lion.
Yeah.
He's like, brush, 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 brush.
It's got his little name plate on the back saying property of Pee-wee Herman.
He's just so proud of it. He takes such good care of it. He doesn't want anything to happen. That's obviously his ride.
And you get that just by the fact that he has it hidden with a code, that it's very precious to him.
And we have Francis walking up, who is also
big man child.
He's like, "Hey, Pee-wee, it's my birthday, and my dad says that I get whatever I want, so I want your bicycle."
And Pee-wee falls on the ground laughing. He's like, "That's the funniest thing I've heard today." And he tells friends, like, "No, you're not getting my bike." And they have, you get some of your classic lines.
"I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I?"
Yeah, you get that.
And he's like, "Yeah, no, that's not happening. You can go kick rocks." And he rides his little bicycle off and starts taking it through the neighborhood and then into the park. And he starts doing all these little tricks on his
putting his feet up on the handlebars, just smiling all daintily.
He's like, "La la la, la la la."
He's like, "Look at me sit pretty on my bike."
And but then he has this, like, bicycle accident where he's, like, projectile shot out and
shoots all his bike, and he's like, "I meant to do that."
Yeah, all these kids are looking around. He definitely feels, like, embarrassed.
It's one of those, like, everything's going so great, and then, like, crash, like a really hard fall. It's a funny little side gag.
He needs to go do some errand running is really what he's off to do. And he shows up at this, like, little shopping center, kind of like a strip mall. He's got a few shops that he needs to go to. But first we get, again, another, like, show of just how important this bicycle means to him. He has this, like, endless chain. It's like a magic trick act, basically, of this, like, chain that will never end. He's pulling it out, and he wraps it around this big, huge, waving clown.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of, like, Mary Poppins' bag. Like, it, how things just keep coming up. But instead, it's like this huge, thick chain. And, again, shows you how much he cares for his bike.
He secures it to this, like, clown, and the clown kind of, like, moves around. It's always waving, but again, you can tell by it being locked up, like, it's not going anywhere. So he goes off to a magic shop, and has just interactions with the magic shop owner, which are funny.
Yeah, he's got to stock up on his tricks and treats,
Tricks and treats. Tricks of the trade.
Tricks of the trade. Treats of the trade.
And then he goes into the Bikerama, and we meet Dottie.
Oh, E.G. Daily with her little Tommy Pickles voice.
Yeah, the whole time, it's hard now, like, watching it after, like, so many years of also hearing it and not seeing her face.
Yeah.
That I just think of this, like, little bald cartoon kid with his little diaper and blue t-shirt on. But she's, like, a bike technician. She is fixing this horn that he wants to put on his bicycle. And he goes and picks it up, but Dottie also, you can tell, has a little crush.
Yeah, she's crushing on Pee-wee.
And we get a line from Pee-wee about how, he's a loner. He's a rebel.
Yeah.
Dottie, you wouldn't understand.
And that's a classic line, like, I'm a rebel, Dottie, a loner. Or I'm a loner.
I'm a loner,
yeah, I'm
a rebel.
And then before that, like, he's trying... You were laughing at this joke earlier, where he's like, I do things you don't understand, can't understand, shouldn't understand.
And then she says, I don't understand.
I don't understand.
The writing is just really great.
Yeah.
And the timing, the witticisms, they're just like, they pack a punch. You could watch this over and over again and pick up on something years later. So...
or even if you know the joke, it's like still funny just because of the delivery of the joke.
Yeah.
Like watching this movie, I know everything that's coming, but it still makes me chuckle just because it's how they perform is so funny.
And everyone's taking it seriously. It's still funny, but like this is their world. This is how they act and interact with each other. So nothing is out of the normal with the things that they will say to each other. Now Pee-wee's gonna walk outside and the worst tragedy that could befall.
Oh, mio Dio. The bike is gone, y'all.
It's gone. La bicicleta
is arrivederci.
No more. No mas. Like, it's gone. And he runs back into the bike shop and falls into this just row of bicycles. He's like, ah, with the horn. Yes. It's just perfect physical comedy.
Falls over. The bikes do like the domino effect. And then he's being like resuscitated.
Yeah. There's so many times does Pee-wee collapse and then be awoken by like a whole group of emergency responders telling him like, you're gonna be okay. Francis, so sorry, I gotta look back on my notes. He's tormented by bicycles in his like dreams, and he goes to the police, and they're like, I'm sorry, but like we can't place a missing persons on your bike, and like we can't like go looking for your we have a lot to do.
Like we don't have the resources for that. And at one point when he first wakes up, he's like, call the squad, get a dragnet out.
They're just like, no, that's not happening. So he realizes he's probably going to have to take the law into his own hands. And he starts thinking about like retracing his steps and how the last kind of like interaction he had was with Francis.
Yeah, fucking Francis, man.
So he heads over to Francis's mansion, and Francis is in the middle of bath time.
Yeah, which is a giant pool.
Another like big Tim Burton like set of like this gigantic bathtub that Francis is like playing Battleship inside.
He's got his little bath toys.
And the faucet, like the hot and cold knobs, everything is just gigantic. And Francis can hear Pee-wee approaching, and he's like, oh no, like goes under the water. And then we see this underwater view of Pee-wee's feet entering, and he's fully clothed. He's like, I don't even give a shit. I'm just gonna enter the bathtub in my whole outfit.
And they have a little water tussle.
Ooh, that's kind of sounding a little sexual,
they are
but
children.
They're man children, so they take all their clothes off, and this gets fucking wild. But yeah, they have a tussle, and then Paul Rubin. I'm like, okay, Pee-wee runs out of the big bath. He runs over to the door and like locks it. He's like turns around and delivers one of my most favorite lines, which is like, you can say anything, like no one can hear you for miles. It's like his dad and the butler are right there, like the door.
Yeah.
It's like, no one can hear you from miles away. Scream your head off. God, he's just so over the top and dramatic. I love him. But he does have to realize he has to apologize to Francis because
Daddy gets in.
Yeah, Daddy gets involved and is like, no, he's been here all day. There's no way he could have stolen your bicycle.
He's like, that's a big accusation, Pee-wee.
So Pee-wee leaves, but he leaves with a little insult. He gives them both trick gum.
Yeah, and it makes them like ink basically pouring out of their mouths. But again, he decides he's going to play detective, and he sets up a whole, like, what would you even call it?
He like calls the neighborhood to his house, and they have to have this like meeting where he gives out 217 pieces of evidence.
Yeah, he's like, Exhibit A. Here's the victims, me and the bicycle. Exhibit B, what do you see? Just me, because the bike is gone.
We again are obviously paraphrasing. Yeah, we're not here to just deliver the lines as they are. Go watch the movie. It's on Amazon Prime. You can buy it for $4.99. People,
yeah, do it. It's worth it.
It's worth it. You'll have it forever, or at least as long as you have Amazon Prime.
As long as they decide to keep it.
Yeah.
Screw you over by being like, oh, it's gone.
It's like streaming. Pee-wee again is like, I'm going to have to take it into my own hands because now the neighborhood won't help me because I took up way too much time describing all of this evidence that kind of comes to nothing. It's just basically like a show for him to put on this display of how much he loves his bicycle, needs his bicycle back.
So he does what any person would do. He goes sees a psychic.
Yes. When you cannot find out life's answers, you go to the mystics.
Yes.
And they reveal everything to you. So he goes to Madame Ruby in this like alleyway. It's a seedy alleyway. It's all rainy. He hisses at people in the alleyway. And she, upon him entering, kind of like pocket picks him to get his wallet. And so she's a fraud. But she puts on a big show and convinces him that the bicycle he's looking for is in the Alamo, and specifically in the basement
of the Alamo. So he starts out on a journey to get to Texas.
He hitchhikes to Texas, and the first person to pick him up on this like a big adventure that he's going to go on is Mickey.
I like Mickey.
I do too. I mean,
he's a friendly
convict. A convict, yeah. He's running from the law. He might have removed the mattress tag, which is probably, I'm going to say there's no greater offense in the entire contiguous United States of America.
I remember as a kid really and I think that is a real like law. You're not supposed to remove them because of resell and things. But I remember as a kid, that was like a joke in different like sitcoms or cartoons. It was like, that was kind of like a punchline. And I remember growing up thinking that was like a real deal. Like, you do not cut that off or you're going to go to jail.
Or you will suffer the consequences of a correctional facility.
Yeah. An alarm will go off on your mattress.
Yes, the federal government will be alerted that you removed a tag on your mattress, and you'll be in prison for the rest of your life. But Mickey is an escaped convict, and he has acquired this very gorgeous, like, old convertible top, Chevrolet, maybe I didn't even bother to say, what is it? Do you know?
I don't know my cars, but it kind of matches Pee-wee's bike in a way. Like,
yes.
It's like the same color scheme, like the red and white.
But it does have like a convertible
very,
top,
like,
and that
60s.
becomes important.
Yeah.
And it's like they're cruising the USA in their Chevrolet with the top down.
Yeah.
And Pee-wee learns via a radio alert, but also Mickey just comes clean about like why he might be evading the law. And they pick up a good banter, and then the law is on the road and kind of, what would you call that? Like,
it's like a
roadblock.
A roadblock. And what's funny, they see it and immediately like somehow change into costumes. It's really funny. Pee-wee's like dressed up as like a lady. He somehow has like a mustache and beard on now, and Pee-wee goes through this whole song and dance of like, oh, me and my husband, we're just driving cross country, and
yeah, because Pee-wee has the interactions with the police officer, and he's like, okay, but can you get out of the car? And so he gets out. He's like, whatever for? Like, what's wrong? And the police officer's like, oh, no, I just wanted to see you in your cute little outfit. Like, but Pee-wee sells it. He's all like popping his leg out and like kind of like sashaying and shimmying his shoulders,
batting his eyes, and then he gets back in the car and they're let through, and Mickey like gives him the once over, like looks at him and smiles. You're like, oh, I think Mickey's liking what he's seeing now.
I like how this whole sequence, it does really come off like it is like a cartoon come to life, because how do they just like get these disguises out of nowhere?
It's funny.
But
you
it
just go
serves.
with it.
It has to happen.
Well, that night they kind of fall asleep at the wheel. Or Pee-wee does. Pee-wee's driving.
Pee-wee is negligent.
And they're going off a cliff, and it's like a long fall because they are falling, and they're like hugging each other as they fall. But then the convertible rooftop works as like a parachute, and they glide down.
They're just gonna like
and
land.
They're safe. But then Mickey's like, "You got to get out of here. I don't want to get you in trouble." He likes Pee-wee, so he's like...
He says that.
Yeah,
like,
I like you.
It.
I don't want you getting mixed up. I don't want you getting in trouble. Kicks him out in the middle of nowhere.
And it's nighttime, so the moment that, like, the vehicle with the lights leaves...
You get those funny, like, cartoon eyes in the dark where all you see are, like, the eyes moving around.
And Pee-wee's like, help! But there's just, like, growls and howls and tweets and twitters. And then he remembers that he got these like headlight glasses at the magic shop. So in his little, I don't know what, his little vagabond knapsack thing that he
his little hobo kit.
Like whatever. I'm
sorry if that's not PC.
Maybe
it's
derogatory, but
I think it's so cute. It's
like, his little stick in,
it evokes Depression era vagabonds, on the railroad.
The silent generation's like heading out. So is it really? Is that really derogatory these days?
Hobo.
I'm
sorry if you're a hobo and you're listening.
And if you are, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry.
And we're gonna. So it's an I'm sorry and it's a but.
But you
should.
You should already be dead because that was like.
You should already be dead.
But like Depression era vagabonds, that's what
they would have been even older than so you really should be dead.
You shouldn't be listening to our show
because you should be like gone.
You need to go get a checkup or something,
or good on you.
Yeah, good on you.
If
you've made it this far, you shouldn't be offended.
No, exactly. You're thick-skinned. Like you have made it through.
Well, actually, they're probably
shit.
very thin-skinned
paper thin
and cold. They're probably really cold.
Okay, but anyway, so we digress again.
Well, anyways, he flips those lights on, and he's surrounded by like bobcats and wild animals.
But he makes it because there is a semi truck that just kind of appears out of nowhere, and it pulls up. It's humongous. It's almost like an angel just descended from out in the darkness.
And inside is a big burly lady angel.
Yes.
Hey, large Marge.
Yes, she says, tell large Marge sent you. But while she is saving Pee-wee and getting him back on the road, she tells him the story of 10 years ago, the worst accident happened, and she saw the face of death.
And this is what the face looked like. And her face goes into like this crazy, like claymation. Bug-eyed, jaw-dropping, like scary. This is part of the kinder horror aspect of this movie. Is as a kid, I would sometimes look away. I would know it was coming, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to look.
And it's very much like what you'll see later in like Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
There's there's such an homage to this, and then now we have Beetlejuice coming out, and again, when I saw the trailer for Beetlejuice, and he does his little thing, I was like, oh my God, Large Marge!
And I have a Large Marge t-shirt that I love. That's by Cavity Colors. If you ever check out their website, they have a lot of really cool horror merchandise. And
Large Marge is one of them.
yeah, I don't know if that shirt's still available, but because I got that like 10 years ago almost.
But she deposits him at the Wheel Inn and Diner, and it's like got these prehistoric dinosaur like souvenir shop set up where it's just a little tourist trap off the side of the road, like the highway. It's for your our navigation is coming on to let us know about a doggin loop.
Which is weird because we weren't supposed to exit for a longer.
Well, we are supposed to take a Dodgkin loop.
Yeah, we're just trying to avoid some traffic.
Mind your business.
Well, because we try to record when we have a long stretch where she won't be telling us to do something.
And where she is minding her business.
So I'm kind of like, why is our route change?
Our route change, but we're just going to go with it. So it's this dinosaur truck stop.
He goes in late, and they're all like, he's like, I was told to tell you Large Marge sent me.
And it's like record, skip, stop, the music turns off, everybody's looking at him like, what? She died 10 years ago.
Yeah, it sets shivers up everyone's spine when he says that. There's even like a little memorial set to Large Marge, and they're like, she died 10 years ago on this day.
On this very day. Well, Pee-wee decides to eat a little bit, and then it's afterwards that he realizes he doesn't have his wallet, what has happened. So he has to clean the dishes, and he has developed a friendship with the waitress, Simone. She's such a sweet.
Oh, Pee-wee.
And she loves everything France in French.
Pee-wee's gonna leave, and she's like, please stay and watch the sunrise with me, Pee-wee.
I love this scene too, because what she wants to do is climb up into one of the big dinosaurs and watch the sun rise outside the mouth of the dinosaur.
Yeah, through the mouth. They're in the mouth, so they're looking out of the mouth, watching the sunrise. It's actually really pretty.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
She's talking about her hopes and dreams, and she's like, everybody has a dream. He's like, and a big butt. But
yeah.
He's like, everybody has a butt. What's your big butt? Or I just butchered the joke. But he's like,
tell me about your big butt.
Yeah, tell me about your big butt.
And so she does. So her big butt is that she really should leave to go to France, but she has a very possessive boyfriend who I guess won't let her go. And we see that because he's actually waiting outside the restaurant for her, so she can't even like work a full shift without him needing to show up to see like what might be happening to her.
He doesn't want her to go to France because he flunked French class in high school.
And so he thinks that that's just where people go to make fun of like dumber people, or like he doesn't feel.
He's very insecure about the French and France.
So he's like, no, you cannot go. And once
chase ensues, he's chasing Pee-wee around.
Yeah, once they get down from the dinosaur, Andy's waiting there, and he's got one of the bones from the dinosaur sign. He's waiting to beat the shit out of him.
I forgot to look it up, but I'm pretty positive it's the same actor that played Bluto in Robert Altman's Popeye movie. I'll check that, hopefully, if I remember on our in-between record before the second half of the show, but I think that's accurate.
Okay. And Pee-wee then escapes Andy and hops on like a moving train that is just passing through this town, where the road, where the truck stop is. And he hops on this moving train and then falls asleep in this like Hale Bay area. This like train car that just has like just loose hay everywhere. And it's during that time. Oh my goodness, girl, you need to stop interrupting me. I be talking.
She's just gonna keep on, so we're just gonna ignore her.
Okay. So he has this dream of a dinosaur. Again, I thought that this was like a scary part when I was a child. The dinosaur's like eating the bicycle, and he's having to try to rescue his bicycle, but he can't. And he wakes up, and now he is in San Antonio. He's at the Alamo. He's finally made it there.
After singing tunes with a straggler on the train.
They just kind of pass the time by just singing, I'm gonna turn Alabama with a banjo on my knee.
Pee-wee gets a little like, he's having fun at first, but the guy just won't stop singing these old-timey songs, and he's had enough.
So he hops off, he's there, he's made it to San Antonio, and he immediately heads to the Alamo and gets in a tour guide line.
Gets his little ticket, and he's so excited.
He's like, going, and it's during the tour, like as the tour progresses, that we see him just get more agitated, that they're like not going to the basement and not going to the basement and not going to the basement. And they are in this area of the tour where we get to meet Pedro and Inez, and he's rolling his eyes.
She's given a history lesson on corn and all the things you can make corn with. And do we have any Mexican Americans in here? Well, buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
She's hilarious in the scene.
And then all of a sudden, the tour ends. And she's like, okay, time for questions. And Pee-wee's like, yeah, were you going to take us to the basement?
And she's like, there's no basement in the Alamo.
And everyone starts laughing, and Pee-wee gets so embarrassed, and he runs off.
Yeah, poor guy. He came this far, and there's no basement in the Alamo.
I was like, what's a guy to do?
I bet we're taking a tour of the Alamo tomorrow. I bet every day they hear that joke. Like, are we going to see the basement?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we'll probably hear. We're not going to make that joke because it's ridiculous. You better not make that.
I might make the joke.
No.
Someone's got to. They have to hear it every day from somebody.
You're not going to be that somebody.
Okay,
that's such a dad joke to me.
I know.
Oh, you're going to make an uncle joke?
I am a daddy. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
I really have my fingers crossed. I doubt they will because I'm sure they didn't license anything from the movie. But I hope there's some kind of Pee-wee merch at the Alamo.
Oh my gosh. Or maybe an unofficial something on the Riverwalk we'll find is like a Pee-wee Herman thing. So, okay. So we have, there's no basement in the Alamo, and he runs off, and he runs to the train station because he doesn't know what else to do except for just leave. And he runs into Simone, and she has taken Pee-wee's advice. She is like, au revoir, I am leaving, I am off to Paris.
She's like, I don't like goodbye, so au revoir, Pee-wee.
Au revoir. And she's like waving ta-ta to him as she gets on her little bus. And off she goes, and then...
There's Andy again.
Yeah, luckily Andy has, like, missed Simone, and he won't get her. She's going to get to go off to France. But he does see Pee-wee, and so we get Pee-wee chasing him around everywhere. They go on this huge chasing all through, like, downtown San Antonio, and... Next thing you know, he lands himself again in the hospital.
Yeah. He's always passing out, waking up. You know, at one point they wake him up and he's like, they're like, do you remember your name? No. Do you remember where you're from? What do you remember? I remember the Alamo.
And they're like, yeah!
Has he already called Dottie?
No, not
okay.
Yeah, like he's been at the trains. He's just been getting chased around. So he does call her to try to get some train money, and he has that humility moment where he sings the "I'm in Texas."
Yeah, he's like, "Here, I'll prove to you I'm in Texas," and he steps out of the phone booth and sings, the classic, "The stars are bright here at night, deep in the heart of Texas." Yeah, and everyone joins in and claps.
So it's like, oh, okay, he's there.
He's really there, y'all.
Yeah, but when Andy had tried to chase him around, he had that bull riding scene, and that, like, cracks me up, that we have Pee-wee in, like, the cowboy outfit, and he's got...
I love that cowboy outfit.
Oh, my gosh. That's what you should cosplay tomorrow at the Alamo.
Oh, we gotta go find a whole outfit
A whole
today.
outfit for you. So, he's at the hospital, and he sees... oh my goodness. He gets resuscitated out there. Yeah, that's when he does the Remember the Alamo, is when the people, after he had passed out from the bull riding thing.
Yeah.
That's where we are. He's just gotten awoken, and so he goes to a biker bar to make a phone call, and he sees that he cannot seem to like get the bar to be quiet, so he shushes them, and they're like, hey, fuck you, we're a part of Satan's helpers, we're a biker like gang, and we're gonna intimidate you and like kick your ass.
And he's like, oh, I'm in the wrong place, I'll just leave. And so he does, but then he knocks over all their bikes domino style, and of course they come out just pissed.
They are like, we're gonna literally kill you. And he's like, well, I have one more request. And they're like, okay, cool. And it's for he gets to put on this like dance solo show to that song Tequila.
This is when he puts on his platforms. He gets up on the bar, and did you mention? Sorry, I was distracted by the traffic. Cassandra Peterson in that scene.
No, we're there right now. Go ahead.
Well, before he got kicked out, she came up to him and was like, "Let me have him first." He might have been deflowered by Elvira in that scene.
Oh.
But yeah, then he comes back in, and he wins them all over by dancing.
And does his little kind of like jig. He's got like, the classic moving his arms from the front to the back. And
from the windows to the... Oh.
That's...
He moves his arms from the front to the back, kind of like how you wipe.
Sweat dripped down his balls?
Oh, I don't want to know about Pee-wee's balls.
Well, you brought it up.
You said it.
Well, but you sang it. Okay. So the bikers end up actually loving him, and they have drinks, and then he gets his own like leather jacket, and they give him his own motorcycle, and he drives it for like 0.01 miles into a road sign, and then has to be taken to the hospital. And it's at the hospital that he has this like crazy clown operation dream sequence, and it's to me like
terrifying.
The scariest part of like the whole movie as a child was this scene where all the different clown emergency responders are like taking him down this like very Tim Burton like hallway where it's like kind of like off kilter and black and white,
and their faces are very mean and sinister with these scary grins.
Ew.
There's a doctor at one point that you don't think is a clown, but he pulls his mask down and he has like the scariest clown face.
Yes, and that right there is again another moment where I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna see this even bigger when Tim Burton makes Batman, and we have the Joker.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's really neat sometimes to watch Tim Burton movies or any direct movies and see like where another movie inspired another, or where they got an idea and they expanded on it,
or just where he came up with his style. Like that's how he does clowns, very menacing.
Yeah,
if he wants to make a clown scary, that's how Tim Burton's gonna do it.
It's like grinny.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he is awakening. And he's awakened by the TV. And there's an interview that's happening on TV. And it's with this child. And he's talking about the latest movie he's making. And how he just got this bicycle that's also going to be a signature piece in the movie. And wouldn't you know it?
It's his bike.
It is his bike.
So he's got to get back to Cali because... he left California to go to Texas. Now he's got to get back because it was there all along.
It was there all along, or was it?
Because we saw that on the road at one point when he was with Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey.
You see it go by past them, but they don't know, and they take the different fork in the road.
Yeah, but that was probably actually in California as well.
Yeah, they're probably still in California.
But we know that before Pee-wee even headed on his journey, his big adventure, that Francis had paid someone to steal the bicycle.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that Francis felt guilty about stealing the bicycle. It was that there was now like this reward that had been placed for it, and if he was found out, he would be in such big trouble.
Yeah,
so
Pee-wee was like going on the radio talking about it. He put a $10,000 reward out, and he said, well, if I do get it, because... Dottie asked him, like, well, how are you going to pay that? He's like, well, whoever turned it in probably stole it. They don't deserve the money.
Yeah. And I love that. That's the brattiness.
I mean, it's kind of good logic.
Yeah, it is. It is the exact logic that you and I would work out in order to, like, get something back and be like, well, you probably took it in the first place.
So, no.
You don't deserve this $10,000. But so yeah, it probably never did leave California at all, but now it's on a movie set, so he's got to head back to California, specifically to Hollywood. He's got to head to Warner Brothers Studio, and he gets there, and I love it. He gets there by following in like like some producers that are talking about a movie that they're gonna make, and they're like making a joke, and he's like laughing by like ha 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 ha. But he gets in. He doesn't have to pay or go through security.
Yeah.
And he starts like walking around trying to figure out like, okay, where's the set that has the bicycle on it? And the set is from that actor, I named him, Jason Hervey, the Wonder Years kid.
Yes.
And he's also playing like this bratty.
What would you do if I sang out of tune?
Which are now.
Sing you a song.
I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh my baby.
God, you sound just like Van Morrison.
Well, I am.
Oh. What? What? You're like, unzip?
Okay, what? Okay. We're getting so close. So he's getting so close to finding his bicycle. He eventually makes it onto the set, and I love this. He gets himself into this fucking crazy ass nun outfit. The one where like they wear the weird wave like things
like the
on their heads.
Nun habit.
It's hilarious. And so the actor, so they're filming, and there's like a director, and he's like, all right, and action. And the actor is like delivering his lines about, to these nuns, I've just gotten adopted, and here's my bicycle, and I hope you'll find my story inspirational. And he like grabs the bicycle. It's like, I am inspired, and I'm leaving right now. And like, gets on the bicycle, just heads out.
And now a really fun chase ensues through the studio.
It's a chase scene that when you saw it as like a kid, it just like, it's so impressionable, and it never leaves you. It's
gag after gag.
After gag. It's just this like him going through a movie set after movie set and kind of collecting another piece of like what that movie was. They were trying to make. Like, one of them is like this drivable boat that is being drug with the skiers on the back. And then they go through this like set that is obviously a Christmas movie, and Santa's sleigh gets dragged into it. And then you get the set where Godzilla and what's the dragon, 3-serpent dragon head? Who's that?
Oh, it's not Mothra. I know who you're talking about.
But that's being made, and then the Godzilla gets on top of Santa Claus, and Pee-wee the whole time is evading everything on his little bicycle, and all his little gags and tricks that he has on his bike. Like, it'll eventually... He'll make it like a little jetpack and just like zoom off over a house and then land in a neighborhood outside of Warner Brothers Studio.
Yeah, and then he's nearly home.
But not quite home, because he lands himself right in front of a pet shop that happens to be on fire.
And he feels a moral responsibility. He's like, I gotta go in and save all these. He sees snakes in there, but he keeps like avoiding them. He helps the dogs, he helps the chimp, he helps the birds, but he finally has
collects all those
get
fish.
all the fish with the little scoop, or, the net.
It's like he's avoiding at all cost having to touch these snakes.
But he finally goes in and grabs them by the handful and runs out, screams, and passes out again.
He's such a fucking drama queen.
And they wake him up, and they're like, this boy's a hero. And the cops are like, no, he's a thief.
He's a felon. He's under arrest.
But again, he wins them over with his charm and his story. He's like, I can explain.
So he does explain. They take him to Warner Brothers Studio because it's like not like he gets taken and arrested, but the studio heads are like, you know what? We're really impressed by everything. We want to make it into a movie.
Yeah, this would make a great movie.
We don't want to press charges, even though you've done probably millions of dollars of damage on our sets. We want to make a movie out of this.
They're impressed, and so they do. And so the next scene is them at the drive-in. He's finally going to the drive-in with Dottie. Since the very beginning, she's been asking him out.
On a date.
And he's like, I like you, Dottie, but I like you.
But I like you. As in, like, Dottie, nudge, nudge. Just friends for life.
So they go.
She does look so cute in her red dress.
Yes,
and she has her gloves on.
she's
She's
adorable.
cute. But they get to see we all get to see a little bits of the movie, and at the drive-in is everyone from the movie, down to Francis. You know, we got the biker gang, we got the BMK biker kids, Mikey, Simone and her French boyfriend, Pierre, and who else? Just everybody from the neighborhood is there to support Pee-wee and his movie.
Yeah, and the movie's like this James Bond-esque adventure, and it's called Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and it's James Brolin playing
P.W. Herman.
And it's showing like him on these crazy over-the-top adventures, even more over-the-top and crazy than the movie we just saw.
And Morgan Fairchild plays Dottie, and she's like their sidekick. You know, they're like a duo that's fighting crime
It's
in
cute.
a double agent kind of way.
And Pee-wee gets to play a bellhop at...
Yeah, he's a cameo.
But it's funny, they don't use his own voice. They use this really deep voice that, you know, is obviously like additional dialogue recorded. It's voiceover.
And the movie ends with Pee-wee, you know, saying like, "All right, Dottie, let's go. Let's ride our bikes out of here." And she's like, "You don't want to see the end of the movie?" And he's like, "No, Dottie, I lived it."
Yeah.
They you know, bike off. We get the little Danny Elfman score. It's more calmed down. It's not as you know, bum 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 bum. It's more just like dun 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 dun. It's nice. It's an ender. It wraps up in a cute little bow. Done.
Perfection.
I guess we didn't mention, but Francis does get his comeuppance because he wants to take credit for the movie itself, and he wants to finally sit on the bike. And people's like, "Yeah, sure, get on the bike," and then he pushes the ejection button. Francis gets out, and then roll credits. Bam! We're all done. We made it.
And we're stuck in some weird traffic now, north of Austin. We're not quite to Austin yet. I was hoping to avoid some traffic. It's about 1:24 p.m. I thought we would maybe avoid rush hour, but it is Friday. People try to leave early, and it's the summer now.
But I'm like, it's past Memorial Day, so it is the summer season.
Yeah,
Summertime.
Oh, but we will eventually get down to San Antonio. We're gonna have our own Pee-wee Big Adventure.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna find that basement of the Alamo. Whether they say there's one or not, I'll dig it up if I have to.
I mean, we're gonna find a basement.
Yeah, might not be in the Alamo, but we'll find.
Let's hope we don't find one.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that means we've been kidnapped.
Maybe it's
or
like
something.
a speakeasy or something. That would be fun, but
cute.
not like a basement that we have like a recorded video of our last moments.
Yeah, or where it's like a proof of life video and people are like rants.
This is getting worse and worse.
It's getting really
like,
dark.
Okay.
Right. Well, we're gonna go have fun. Listen to Bad Athlete, our theme song, and we'll be right back in just a few seconds.
Okay. Bye.
Something's moving in the sea. Wake up, I just wanna go home. I may be shaking inside. I'm not the kind to run and hide. Come out, I'll take you all on my own. I've got you figured out. Tough luck, you're in my world now. I have no doubt, I have no fear. I'm gonna make you disappear. We are the scream queens, running through the night. We are the scream queens, gonna put up a fight, make everything alright.
And we're back.
It's so hot in here.
I know you are, but what am I?
Oh my god. I am muy caliente. Okay, yeah. So we did have tons of fun. But it was hot in San Antonio.
Yeah, we're back in Oklahoma where it's still hot, but maybe not quite as hot as San Antonio. But we had the best couple days in San Antonio, a city I've never been to and really enjoyed.
And we looked far and near, up and down, all around, in and out, but we did not find the basement of the Alamo.
They wouldn't take us.
No.
The whole damn tour, they never took us to the basement, and I was too chicken to ask.
A 3-hour tour.
It wasn't 3 hours. This isn't Gilligan's Island.
Sorry, okay, yeah, it was like 45 minutes. But anyways, so yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into our hot San Antonio extravaganza whirlwind epic adventure that probably rivals Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'd say.
Maybe. There was no large Marge, unfortunately. I really would have liked to meet her.
No, but there was that moment where you were screaming at the Riverwalk.
And my eyes were bulging out.
You scared children off. There was an old lady who fell in the Riverwalk. She clutched her pearls at your face. It was so unsightly.
Well, things happen.
And that was just because you got a sunburn.
Shit happens.
Shit happens.
Especially in San Antonio.
Well, let's get to it. We checked in at the La Valencia. It's an Argentinian-inspired hotel that's directly on the Riverwalk. So we could just leave our hotel and escape down this stairwell to the Riverwalk and lead us to many a temptation.
And what's nice is we were more on like the tranquil side, the quieter area of the Riverwalk. There's kind of like a little peninsula that has all the shops and does like a little U-turn or like a U-shaped along the peninsula. And that's kind of where all the bars and restaurants are. So we were kind of like on the more quiet, maybe even local side. Like there were a lot of people you could tell that lived there that were just out jogging on the Riverwalk, and it was really nice. It was nice and quiet where we were. However, our street was on a really famous street called Houston Street, where there were a lot of like shops and restaurants. But once you escaped down the steps of the Riverwalk, it was nice and quiet in our area.
Yes, we had an 8-minute walk on Houston Street as well to get to the Alamo. So we're just, locale-wise, it was pretty great. And we walked into our hotel room and were greeted by this wonderful bottle of Argentinian wine that we got complimentary for each night of our stay. Ooh la la, they like to take care of you there.
Mm-hmm. They gave us 2 of them.
We were there for 2 nights, so they gave us 2 of them. That was so kind of them. And we just kind of got ourselves all settled in, enjoyed the bottle of wine, and waited till the sun had set a little bit more before we decided to go on a journey, because it's been, it was like mid-90s this weekend and 104 real feel. So the heat has been kind of exhausting.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of situations, so you know everybody's in the same boat. So it's like everybody is here and sweating. So if I'm sweating, it's not that big a deal, because so is the person I'm walking past or whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's something about being in a new city and sweating and being hot. You kind of feel like you're on an adventure. So we really just leaned into the adventure aspect of being hot.
Yes, just slapped on the sunscreen and the bug spray and enjoyed ourselves. And so we had done a little bit of research on our way down to San Antonio and thought that we would try out, it's in the Pearl District, which meant we were going to get to have ourselves a little walk after being in the car and cramped for like, what, 7+ hours the trip to San Antonio's been.
It was about 7.5 hours to get to San Antonio from Oklahoma City, and
we needed to walk.
So we walked down to the Pearl District, which is kind of like a really neat, entertainment district. There's lawns for like people to picnic or hang out and play ball, or
lawn toys out.
Yeah, there's lots of restaurants and bars. Again, it's right off the river.
And we enjoyed, well, since we've been to Spain, everything is tapas, even though it's
really appetizers. But we're pretentious and say tapas.
So we planted ourselves at Southerly. It's a brewery and restaurant, and enjoyed a couple of IPAs that were made locally there. And
we decided to sit outside too, even in the heat.
Because when you're in the shade, though, there was a breeze and it was wonderful. And there were tons of people out on these lawns. They were very inviting. And there was quite a bit of shade. And there were outside, like kind of like walk-up bars that you could just like get a drink and pay and just like sit wherever. So there were a lot of families. Even though I don't usually like want a ton of kids around while I'm trying to enjoy a beer, they were a few feet away and playing nicely. So I was like, I even remarked yesterday, like, I'm even enjoying the sound of these children playing right now as I enjoy myself an IPA. But we also had pretzel. It's like this humongous German pretzel, and we had a really wonderful cornbread that came with that kind of like marmalade butter. Butter.
Came with butter.
And mac and cheese, like this baked mac and cheese that was just so absolutely creamy, delicious.
I will say we kind of failed on we're only eating Mexican food the whole time we were there, but...
Yeah, we started off just having pub food. We also got this big, huge roasted cauliflower head, and it was incredible.
Best piece of cauliflower I've ever had.
I don't think it was like the most healthiest version of a roasted cauliflower, but it definitely, we consumed all of it, so I enjoyed it.
But at the same time, you can't make cauliflower that unhealthy unless it's like deep fried.
True, yeah, and
but
it wasn't like battered or anything.
Yeah, it was drizzled in oil, probably, and grilled, with oil, but then it had like these yummy like sesame seeds.
Yeah,
and, like,
the seasoning on it was wonderful,
so
and it was roasted so like just charred in all the right places.
Just like me.
Okay, and then the sun set, and we made our way back so we could take pictures at the Alamo. We kind of wanted some night pics and thought maybe there wouldn't be as many people, tourist-wise crowd, and we were right.
Yeah.
There was almost no one.
Except from there was like this one lady and her friend that just decided to stop right in front of the Alamo, right where you would really want to take a picture, and just talk and talk and talk. And, we're being very passive-aggressive, like, just inching closer, acting like we just are really inconvenient.
Well, they were there for minutes and minutes and minutes. It wasn't like, it was like, hi, blah, 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 and they were maybe standing there for 60 seconds. They were, time transpired.
I think she finally got the hint because she was like, "Oh, can I take your picture?"
Yeah, but it was still like over a ton. I remember the security guard like got onto somebody that was like driving around and on a bicycle, and then there's somebody in a scooter, and we're just like kind of waiting for these pictures to be taken as these ladies are like.
And I will say she didn't take the best picture. She did all our pictures in that 0.5 aspect ratio where it like is really zoomed out, so it really elongated us.
Yeah,
it's all the pictures. We look crazy. Like we have, I'm 6 foot, you're not short, but it gave us like these long legs.
We look statuesque.
Like we look crazy.
But it also made the Alamo not look as like just how it really looks. Like even the Alamo's much longer.
Yeah. So thanks, lady, for no, I'm just kidding. She was nice. At least
it was fine. We got good pictures nonetheless. Like we stuck around and got our night pics that we wanted, and then we strolled back. On the stroll back, we were taking in all of the kind of like local shops that were on Houston Street, and we saw a place called La Panaderia, and we decided that would be our breakfast spot the next morning. And then we topped off the night with martinis at the hotel bar, and then gave a little kiss goodnight. We blew a kiss to the bartender. He was so nice.
We're like, bye, Brian.
Was that was his name? Okay.
Bye, Brian. Thanks for the dirty martini with a little
orange
bitters in it.
Yeah, he
surprised
tried to
us.
Make us something special.
Because we asked for dirty martinis and came back. He's like, I added some orange bitters. And we're like, oh, look at you, Brian.
Like, Brian is showing the fuck up tonight. So, they were okay.
What if I was like, I don't like orange bitters, Brian?
And what if he's allergic? Brian?
No,
Do I get to have both and then you make him another?
Yeah, make us free ones. We'll try this, but we're not going to like it.
But I will drink the hell out of it. I promise.
No, they were good. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. And we went to sleep like pretty little princesses that we are. and woke up the next morning and walked down to La Panaderia and had Mexican sweet pastries that were incredible, that we even got them this morning.
Yeah.
So good.
But yesterday we ordered like 4 different kinds. We got like the cookie croissant, which I've been seeing, all over TikTok, different bakeries doing that. I still hadn't had one. We got just like a pan au chocolat, right?
Yes, and a kolache that was like, it had like jalapenos and the sausage. And
then like a tres leche something.
Yeah, and it was a tres leche croissant that we had as well. So we really enjoyed some major sweet and a little savory. And
definitely sugared us up for the day.
It did, but we had gotten up rather early and wanted to take a walk so that we could kind of like take in more of the river walk in the morning. And we got ourselves some exercise in, got some coffee to go, and strolled down. Saw that there was the La Villeta.
Yeah, but everything was closed at that point still.
So you had brought up like, well, we can come back after we had done our tour. We were gonna basically like do our tour, then get like some chips and a drink somewhere, and then needed to burn a little bit more time, but also like it was gonna be the heat of the day. But we thought that it would be a good idea to go there, and it was. We always have the best ideas.
We do. But yeah, so we strolled around a little bit, went up, kind of freshened up, then went out to go see the Alamo.
We went to our Alamo tour. Yesterday at 12 p.m., we met Kristen, who was an incredible tour guide. She gave us a 45-ish minute tour of the different grounds. So there's, like, the Alamo is, like, the mission, like, that's what you envision as the Alamo.
But there's really more to it, y'all.
Way more to it. There's, like, this low barrack area, and then they have also put up a very large decorative kind of, like, wall to signify, like, this is kind of where
like the perimeters
would have begun. And then you can go inside the mission. They've also added on a museum exhibit that we were taken to and shown, and that's kind of like where we were deposited at the end.
Oh, deposited.
Oh, I had a deposit.
Yeah, the Alamo was basically a fort, and it needed to be, the fight was all about who controlled the fort, because whoever controlled the fort would control San Antonio, and whoever controlled San Antonio basically controlled Texas, because of all the
fighting
travel
between Texas and Mexico.
Yeah, so it was like just a very heavy footed spot. A lot of traffic went through San Antonio. It was really important to the economy of Texas.
Yes, and we learned a lot about like the 13-day siege that happened before, and then the 90-minute fighting that happened on March 6, 1836, as Krista would tell us. She was dropping names left and right. We learned how Davy Crockett got involved, and what poor James Bowie and William Travis had to do about all their involvement with the Alamo, these generals and generals.
And guys, spoiler alert, they all died.
Yeah, that's why we have to remember the Alamo, because they all kind of got expired.
And someone said that, I forget who, because there was so much information, but someone was like, remember the Alamo.
And then they did. They sent people that happened upon it and were like, go out and tell everybody about the Alamo. And those people went all around Texas, and they spread the word. Gossip was spread.
Yeah. And there's a really pretty statue of Travis Scott's wife and child. They apparently are like some of the only survivors of
William Travis.
Did I say Travis Scott?
Travis Scott.
Who's that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It just flowed out of my mouth like I knew that person though.
I don't know.
But William Travis.
Is that one of the many minces in your life that you don't tell me about?
Oh my God.
Well, there's a lot. Travis Scott must be one of them.
Scott.
But William Travis, his wife and child. Yes. Okay. But we went into the Pee-wee's. We went into like a look for Pee-wee things.
In the gift shop.
Nothing.
Nada. Zilch.
Literally everywhere in San Antonio we searched, and there's nothing referential. And I guess it's just too old now. I don't know. Yeah. Time's gone by.
I guess no one said remember Pee-wee. Just remember the Alamo.
And I'm sorry, but there's a market for it there, y'all.
Surely we're not the only people that have gone to the Alamo because of Pee-wee Herman.
Or asked, we didn't ask. We couldn't build up the real courage.
Well, part of me part of the reason why I didn't ask was I was like, this girl's not even going to get the reference probably, or think it's funny. No one in the, you know, I thought at first maybe if I said it I would get a laugh, but then as we went going I was like, none of these people probably even know that reference. No one's going to get why I'm asking for the basement of the Alamo.
Yeah.
Which is sad, because that movie is iconic in my eyes.
But it was an eclectic group that we were with, but I see what you mean. The set of people that we were with, I can't just say like, oh yeah, they were giving Pee-wee's Big Adventure for me.
Yeah.
And Kristen, although she knew a lot, she seemed maybe like 1985 missed the mark. She might have been like a early 90s baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a 45-minute tour, like I've mentioned a couple times before, and then it was all done. But it's great. There's tons to learn. There are so many artifacts. When we got dropped off at the museum exhibit, the new museum exhibit that they have, we learned that there's a large amount of the exhibit, these different items that were donated to make this large collection were in fact donated by Phil Collins.
And you know what? Lily Collins as well, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
They just aren't giving her credit.
It was not Emily in Paris.
Emily in the Alamo.
It was Phil at the Alamo.
No, but he'll be in my heart because he donated so many artifacts.
Much. I guess he was very inspired, adventure-wise, growing up by Davy Crockett and...
Specifically, they said, like, the Disney movies and stuff.
So he just kind of followed his heart to the Alamo.
And dude's a millionaire, bajillionaire, so I guess he spent a lot of his spending money on Alamo memorabilia,
and then has now donated. Well, I don't even know if it's necessarily donated or if he's just allowing his collection to be displayed.
Yeah.
I probably should have read up on that. Anyways, so afterwards we went to the gift shop. There's nothing Pee-wee there, so we were like, you know what? Fuck it, bye.
Fuck you,
We're
Alamo.
not talking about the Alamo anymore. I'm done.
She's had it.
I am done. I got on my little red bicycle.
Sorry for your ears if you're listening on headphones.
Oops. I got on my red bicycle and I just pedaled right the fuck off.
She found Francis, found the bike.
And I went to Bedrow's and had some lunch with my friend on the Riverwalk. And that's what we did.
That would be me.
Yeah. And we had tableside guacamole that was advertised as spicy, and I'm going to say that word was used subjectively.
Look, she asked us if we wanted it spicy, and we're like, yeah. It wasn't spicy at all. Like, I'm not even sure she added one jalapeno to that thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe she got distracted, forgot to throw that spice in there.
It was the heat.
We were already hot.
Because we also chose to sit outside. We could have sat indoors, but we're like, no, we wanted to sit by the water. You know, weirdly enough, like you said earlier, in the shade, it was kind of fine.
Yeah, it never really bothered us at all to sit, and we wanted to do those things. So we had fried oysters on yucca chips with pineapple salsa, and they were great. I love oysters.
Yeah, it was basically
mussels.
Like oysters dressed up on like potato chips, but yucca chips. But that was like the vibe. It was like on a big old chip.
Give me any kind of like clam or anything that's like in a shell, and you have to open it and then slurp it out, and that I'm gonna live there all day long. And then we had jumbo shrimp cocktail, and it was great. And it came with these like huge cucumber like strips. And it was really nice to like, it was refreshing to have after...
In that hot heat?
Yes, after having all that hot. That pineapple, I will say, that pineapple salsa was hotter than the spicy guacamole that we were supposed to be having. But
overall, enjoyable experience.
Totally enjoyable.
We did a lot of like gift shops, looked at a lot of funny...
We went to the La Villetas and...
Yes, went there. But before we found like this weird, massive gift shop with a lot of just like weird... tchotchkes.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, we went into that souvenir shop, and there was those magnets of that lady with the little tiny bathing suit on, and then the lady that was like
the big lady.
Big lady that was like talking about bigger in Texas or something.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah, kind of like a five and dime souvenir shop. And then we traveled over to the La Villetas. the local art shop food district area, and we found some best friend bracelets that we kind of felt guilted into purchasing because we stumbled into this shop and they gave us free margaritas, which questionable on how much liquor was really in it.
I almost think there was nothing in it. Like, it didn't really taste like alcohol, just was sweet. The guy was nice. Like, he was giving free drinks. It was either free margaritas, wine, or mimosas, right?
Yes, yeah, mimosas. No, I'm sure there was like a little bit of alcohol in, but like we felt perfectly fine afterwards.
Yeah.
We stopped into another oddity shop and did a little stroll on Houston Street just to take in, a little bit more of the afternoon activity, but the heat became a little too much, and we knew that we wanted to nap. We knew there was going to be another bottle of wine there. We had Netflix for free on the TV and HBO Max, so we were just going to get out of the heat for a few hours and take a rest.
Yeah, we probably only went back in the hotel for like 2 hours, and we got freshened up, changed for dinner, strolled down to the Ocho,
yeah.
Really cute restaurant, like in an old conservatory. It was like basically eating in a greenhouse overlooking the Riverwalk.
And we had seen some TikTok videos about it, recommending it.
Which hotel was it in?
It was in the Havana Hotel. Beautiful, kind of looked like white shutters and like just exactly like maybe what you would see in like Cuba. It was giving that
what they were going for.
We loved it. We had that like kind of queso fundido with fresh avocado and tortillas to start off with, and I had a beer. I think you had a beer and a cocktail. I'm trying to remember what order. We drank exactly what we felt like we needed. I was about to say we drink so much, but we never got.
Yeah, we never really overdid it on this trip. We've drank a lot on some of these trips, especially like fried mare.
Yeah. Or been like,
no,
maybe.
we had like maybe a cocktail or a beer or two at dinner and stuff. I don't even think we had drinks. Did we have drinks at lunch yesterday? At Boudreaux's? Oh,
we had a beer,
That's
yes,
right.
but we just tried to pace ourselves. So, we had more mussels with the chorizo broth and breadstick and plantains with the.
It was like this butter crema.
Crema, yeah.
Oh,
The
so
sauce
good.
was. The plantains were great. All of the food was just perfect portions, and taste wonderful, really fresh.
And that's kind of like our favorite way to eat, is just to order a bunch of stuff for the table and share everything.
Yeah, if you can't get behind that, then you're going to have to get the fuck out of our way.
Yeah, because we like food and we like to try a little bit of everything. So
and I want to eat off of plates.
Yeah, when you do it that way, you can just kind of try a little bit of everything. You don't have to commit to one full meal or something. Sometimes we'll even get a meal and share it. And then get other little
some
things.
appetizers. I'm not above doing any of those things, or try, as long as like people are open to like, okay, I'm getting this, you're getting that. Like, we can try each other's. I just know that I have a good eye for food. I love to try different things on the menu. But I think together we really pair up our food well and get the best bites ever. If you need food recommendations, come our way.
Do it. Just do it.
Just fucking do it. I'm just screaming this way. And it's heat exhaustion. I'm just taking it out on all of y'all. We strolled back to the hotel, super stuffed with food, but you wanted one more drink at the hotel bar, and we were able to
shared it with me.
We were able to sit. I know. I'm just saying, like, you were the instigator of all of this, sir. We went and had an Aperol Spritz on the patio outside.
The evenings are so nice because
you couldn't quit it.
Yeah, it was just so nice to sit outside with a little cocktail and reminisce of memories past and
memories past, as in like just that afternoon.
Yeah.
But we were just taking in the nightlife. It seemed a little bit just, the heat had gone away. So the wind had picked up. There was a little bit of a breeze, and just wanted to kind of take in the last chirps and chips of the birds tweeting at us. And,
chirps and chips.
The music.
What the hell?
I did love that we didn't stay kind of like in the heart of that Riverwalk downtown area, because the Riverwalk is 15 miles. So
and we still were near like the hub. We were still in a very.
I'd say like we were a quarter of a mile away from that area. But
Yeah.
just even being that, still close, but that far away, you could hear all the nightlife, but you weren't like getting kept up at night over it. So a wonderful place to stay. Okay, so earlier this morning when we went to La Panaderia, we immediately wanted to go back because there were more like sweets to try, but when we opened the door, holy shit, their AC was out.
Yeah,
so
it was already hot, like in the morning. There were people still dining inside, but it was like, oh, I cannot sit in this stuffy environment. It felt nicer outside than it did inside.
Yeah. But luckily for us, our hotel had like a restaurant dining area and then the bar and then kind of like a lobby with high top tables. So we just walked back, had those sweets breakfast. It was so good. I mean,
Yeah, we chose a few more, ate those, then we got ready to leave, and we left today. It was really sad.
and we stopped off at the Buc-ee's a while ago because we're in Oklahoma now, but we do love when we're passing through in Texas. If there's a Buc-ee's and we're hungry, we're, depending on if it's morning or afternoon, we're definitely getting brisket. It's just like wrapped in a taco.
Yeah, if it's breakfast, we do brisket, breakfast tacos. If it's not, then they're on a bun.
And we got the 3 meats though.
And then you always got to get a cup to share of...
either the hash browns in the morning or the chips in the afternoon.
But I was going to say a cup of the pudding. The banana
pudding, yes. Yeah, we have
That's
to share.
a must.
Yeah, we have to share that because it's big. You can get the smaller one, but if you get the bigger one, then you're going to share it, and it's almost like you get more because the smaller one I don't think is the same equivalent.
No.
But I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to fall on that sword. That's what I'm going to fall on, Josh.
And I just love banana pudding. And they make a good banana pudding, y'all.
Okay, well, we've kind of recapped like the whole trip, so now we need to get into our favorite scenes and our knives ratings.
Yeah, I mean, our trip was a lot of dining, walking, and shopping.
I think I know someone else who did that too.
That's what you can expect from San Antonio. Pee-wee?
Pee-wee did that in San Antonio.
He went shopping.
He went shopping and he dined and he ran amok and didn't find his bicycle.
That's true. Poor guy.
What was your favorite scene?
Well, we already decided, just to let you guys know, we're going to do our favorite scenes based on some of the creepy moments. And, you know, there's a lot to choose from. There's a large march. There's the robot clown at the beginning. There's
the dream sequences,
the dream sequence. There's even the fire. But I'm going with Large Marge. It's just so classic. It is spooky. It's what I think of when I think of, you know, like kind of like the gateway horror of it all with Pee-wee is that moment, especially.
I love it because it's like a scary story that's being told, and for so many of us during childhood, we loved sitting around a campfire, or you had a slumber party and everybody's sitting around just telling you a scary story. You're trying to just get frightened. And he has his own personal, it's almost like, are you afraid of the dark moment?
Yeah, it's a true like little campfire tale that she's telling, and then, you know, you get the reveal. It's that classic, like, oh, the person you dropped off has been dead for, you know,
10 years.
You know, it's kind of a classic horror tale, but they do it to comedic effect, and that claymation is just hilarious and creepy, though. When I was a kid, I would look away for a moment. I was like, oh, here it's coming. I'm not looking. You know, but now it's like so fun to look at. It's just so odd and grotesque.
Yeah, you're not, your eyes aren't diverted anymore, and it's a very, you could see it is classic Burton. It's where that I'm sure like that later inspires other, you know, creations that he'll make with claymation, and why he loves it so much. It's very versatile and really allows a creative mindset like him to get scary before CGI. All right, well, I'm gonna let you guys know what my favorite scene is, and I love one of the dream sequences that really gets me, and like I vividly recall it, is when the clowns, it's the last dream sequence where they take the bicycle apart and the doctor reveals himself, and he's a clown himself, and his teeth he's got that smile. And when I see these clowns as they're like going down the black and white hallway that Burton's made with the hallway kind of like askew. It just really reminds me of two other movies that he'll make, Beetlejuice and Batman, especially the face, that smile. You can tell, like, the Joker. I just like the thread lines that keep happening.
And
but yeah, it's its own thing.
And there's something so maniacal about those clowns too. They're so chaotic and creepy. It is a really scary little moment.
Like them going down that hallway and the clowns moving their mouths, and they're just mean, like menacing.
They're
and
kind of laughing,
yeah.
like thinking everything's just a riot.
And they're taking his bike apart. And by now we know just how much Pee-wee loves his bike. And to watch this torment he's going through. Also, Pee-wee, why do you always have the scariest nightmare dreams? Like, you live in a perfect house. Like, you've got all your favorite things surrounding you. Be a happy boy.
Poor Pee-wee. Poor Pee-wee.
Poor Pee-wee.
Oh, it's just a great movie all around. Tim Burton, for a first feature, it's so well made. It's so, like, assured. Like, you know, like, you're in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing. And you can tell he came from animation because it is so animated. It's like a live-action cartoon. Everything is so big and bold, colorful. And, you know, he just kept going from there. But you go back, and his style is there from the very beginning of his first feature. You know, that thread, like you were saying, is there, and he continues it. You can see why he got Beetlejuice, and then Batman. Like, he was always working. You know, Batman was a cartoon, so he was always working in this cartoony, over-the-top space. And he used to do it really well. You know, I've always liked Tim Burton. I'm not going to shit on him now, but I don't get excited really for his movies anymore. They're not the same as they were like in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s. For me, it's kind of after Sweeney Todd, things kind of went downhill.
I totally agree, and I think to piggyback on that is when the CGI took over.
Yeah, exactly.
That niche, that claymation that he has, and the abilities that he has with it, that was something that other people didn't have.
And the larger than life sets, you know, the practical sets, you could tell. And, you know, he's maybe made a good movie here and there, like Big Eyes or, you know, whatnot over the years, but there's just some of that magic's a little lost. I hope it comes back with Beetlejuice. The trailer looks like it
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, with Beetlejuice.
Yeah, definitely excited to see it. And maybe if you guys catch us on our reaction channel, I don't know, we'll probably see it in theaters. I was gonna say maybe
we'll probably see it in theaters.
But
all right, well, what's your rating?
Stop it. I'm sorry, guys. If you were going to come here and I wasn't going to give it 5 stars, like this didn't define a generation and help define me, my love of horror, my love of movies, my love of Pee-wee.
Yeah, same.
Here we are. 5 stars.
Same. Stars? We do knives.
Oh, 5 knives. 5 stars and knives, because when I when I start stabbing you, you're going to see stars before you pass the fuck out and die.
Yeah, this movie is very important to me. Not to sound cheesy, but Pee-wee was such a big presence in my childhood. Still, like, you know, growing up, one of my favorite people, favorite characters. I still have my pull string doll that I've had since I was a kid. I used to watch Pee-wee's Playhouse every morning. I was very sad when he died last year. You know, I don't usually get that, like, upset when someone dies. I didn't cry or anything, but it was still
he
like...
cried. Like, he's still crying.
It was still a big gut punch, a big loss, you know, when I opened my phone and saw that Pee Wee Herman, Paul Reubens, had passed away last year. It sucked. It's very impactful, and his legacy will live on. He's inspired a lot of people to live genuinely and to live authentically and to love their creativity and love their quirkiness and to accept it. Yeah, and I say, who cares if he jacked off in a movie theater? Well, in a porn theater. Plenty of us have, right? Wink, wink. Isn't that why people go to a porno theater? Yeah, exactly. Like, it was a sting operation. They were setting him up, and I would have been disappointed had he not, honestly, because you don't go in there if you're not, you know, gonna jerk the girth. If you're not jerking your chicken, what are you doing? For real. But yeah, for real, love him, love the movie. It's like, you know, even rewatching it, it's one of those movies I didn't really even have to rewatch it for this conversation because I've seen it so many times, but I probably watch it at least once a year anyway. So, and every time it still makes me laugh. Like, all the jokes, all the little moments, the little, you know, even just the way he'll give a
Yes.
look, or you know, a lot of his physical comedy and body language is just hilarious.
And it's what makes him and very unique, and why we're gonna miss him.
Yeah, so 5 knives
5
all
knives from us.
around for Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yay! Checking off episode 101 off of our list of this year's to-dos, and now we are unveiling what episode 102 will be. It is my birthday month coming up, July, and Mommy's going to Mexico.
Yeah, we're taking the show international again. Last year for my birthday, if you remember, went to Spain. So this year for her birthday, we're going to Tulum,
Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah.
We're going to do an all-inclusive resort. We're going to go see some Mayan ruins or Aztec ruins. I'm not sure on
No,
the
they
history.
are Mayan ruins.
Okay.
Tulum is another area where the Mayan at one point were and had settled, and so we'll see one of the ruin sites, and then we're setting up excursions for that, so I hope that we're able to go to a cenote and maybe swim with some turtles. If not, we're gonna go snorkeling at the resort. There will be beach time. There will be underwater. Some bullshit's happening, guys.
There's even ruins in our hotel.
Yes.
Apparently on site, like
on
at the
site,
beach.
but
So,
it's just one of those to be able to do a little bit of a daytime excursion
Yeah.
and get you out of the resort for a few hours is nice, even though you're still in the touristy area.
our hope is just to eat, drink, be by the beach, do
Yes.
the lazy river. We're staying at the Grand Sirens. So
The Grand Serenus.
Serenas, okay,
Mhm.
not sirens. But we're gonna cover the ruins.
Yes, yeah, that's what we're covering. So, and also, you guys, we have never seen it, so we will be like watching it for the first time and kind of taking it all in. Well, we'll watch it a few times before we
Yeah.
actually cover it, but just so you guys know, we haven't even ever
Yeah.
seen this.
I don't even know if it takes place in Mexico.
We just know there's ruins, and we were like, well, shit, we've got ruins close by, and it's my birthday, so I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so join us next month in Mexico. Wear your sunnies and your bikinis.
And in the meantime, don't forget to give us that 5-star review. Throw out a little review for us. It helps
Mhm.
us out. You wouldn't
Give us
believe.
love.
Yeah, give us some love on all this, wherever you listen
We
to
love
our
you.
show, because we love you. We love doing this for you. It helps us out. Find us on all the social medias. We're on all of them, so
We're-
find us.
We're threading, we're gramming, we're Xing, we're fabooking.
We even have a website, screamqueenspodcast.com. There's links to some of those things there. We're really bad at updating the website, but it's there.
It's there. Check us out and take care. Until next time. Bye.
Bye!